Hello, nice to have your company on Racing360, the first edition of the show for 2013, and it sees in a busy few months of international racing. Jason Tan, tomorrow we've got the Group 1 Patnack Farm Blue Diamond Stakes to look forward to at Caulfield from Australia, but also in the coming months we'll be taking in top class racing from Asia, the Middle East and the UK.
Good evening, Joe. We sure will. Looking forward to all the action that we're able to watch and also wager on here in Hong Kong. Previewing, of course, the 3 Group 1s tomorrow, but we've got 2 big days in Dubai coming up in March. We've got another 2-year-old race in Sydney in April, and then we go to the UK and we have scattered races from Japan as well. So, so much interest in what is a global racing scene.
Joining us to preview the big card of racing from Down Under tomorrow, here's the South China Morning Post's Michael Cox. How are you?
Great, thanks. Good evening, guys. And I'm really excited about tomorrow, the Blue Diamond Stakes, something very unique to Australian racing, just the amount of money that's on offer in these 2-year-old races. We've got a great fairy tale story as well in Miracles of Life, drawn 1 and favourite in the big race, and a fantastic support card as well.
Now, high stakes tomorrow, $1 million in prize money up for grabs in the feature race, the Blue Diamond Stakes. It's a very good undercard too, with 2 other Group 1s on the program. That's the Oakley Plate for the sprinters, and earlier in the piece the Cathay Pacific Futurity Stakes, which sees the return of Melbourne Cup winner Green Moon. That's at 20 minutes after midday. The simulcast of racing from Caulfield tomorrow will kick off at 11 AM Hong Kong time. Lots to look forward to. 14 runners will go to the post for the running of the feature race, and carrying saddlecloth number 1 tomorrow, Cracker Roadie. Stephen Theodore and Craig Williams, a horse returning after a long time off.
Yeah, interesting preparation for Cracker Roadie. You've also got horses like the Bowler that may push forward, Fast and Rocking, who's well drawn. Guelph has a lot of support and very well rated, Joe. And then the favourite Miracles of Life drawn the ace.
And Darley with a big hand in the race, Metastasio, another of the representatives, Montsegur, and Kona Breeze for Peter Moody, who will line up with 3 runners as well. Griegers for David Hayes, who has a remarkable record in the race. We'll touch on that a little bit later on the show. One of Hong Kong's top riders, Brett Preble, has flown to Melbourne, especially to ride Green Moon tomorrow in the Futurity Stakes. Along the way, he also picked up a ride on Kona Breeze.
Yeah, it's a high pressure race. It's obviously it's the earlier race for the 2-year-olds in the year. You know, I think I rode Lonro in it one year. He ran 4th, and he was very shin sore, you know. And I knew sort of coming to home turn he was not going to be winning the race just because his shins were giving away a bit on him. But he was the best horse in the race, but not always the best horse at the time can win it because, as I said, you know, he had shin soreness and whatsoever. So I think it's a race that you need a lot of luck, and they go very hard into high pressure race. So you get blowouts in it regularly. So you know, this year it's a wide open race. You know, a lot of horses. My horse hasn't won a race, but it's run some really lovely races. Running by second, but you know, I think it's been a bit unlucky. It's got knocked down at the start, missed the kick its first start. So you know, I think it's gained experience every time it's run. So it looks like it's got good ability. The trainer tells me she's a nice filly. So barrier 10's not too bad a barrier, and you know they're going to go fast enough. So hopefully she'll take that experience from the first few runs onto this one and take the next step.
Kona Breeze still a maiden after 3 starts. One of 8 fillies lining up in the Diamond tomorrow. A daughter of Sebring, who's really starting to produce winners on the track in Australia. And for Brett Preble, Joe, he's had a lot of experience in riding in obviously big races around the world, but the Blue Diamond, he's had 6 previous mounts in it. He's finished second before. I'm not sure about Kona Breeze being a genuine winning chance. Miracles of Life, Michael, you touched on the story around her. She is the favourite. And for the Blue Diamond, the great thing is there are key lead-up races for the big event. And this is one of them, the preview for the 2-year-old fillies, where she was so impressive coming from South Australia to Melbourne.
Well, there's always that big question mark, isn't it, when a horse comes from interstate and puts some pretty impressive performances on the board. She's done it with all just raw talent in South Australia, but to come over there, she took a little bit of a sit, peeled off, the run came her way, and it really opened up for her. And at the 300, but didn't she show a turn of foot? We haven't seen anything like that from her rivals tomorrow. And look, She's drawn one. That's a pressure gate. But where else would you want her to draw, really? She's maybe end up with a similar sort of run to what she had there. And if the run opens up for her again, then maybe we'll see the same result.
It's a fairy tale story, miracles of life, a miracle story, really. Trained in Adelaide and ridden tomorrow by Laura Stojakovic, who has had her own ups and downs in her career. In fact, she was sidelined for 3 years after a race fall, and for her to be going to the post in a Blue Diamond, a terrific thrill on a horse they nickname around the stable Barbie.
I don't know if that's because of how she looks, because she's not a heck of a good horse to look at. She's not much of a presence, I don't think, but boy, she's got a turn of foot. A lot of discussion about the inside draw and whether that's a plus or a minus, as you mentioned, Michael. But when we consider two-year-old races, generally you default to inside draws being a positive, but for some reason, when you think of a race like the Blue Diamond or the Golden Slipper pressure races, that's not so desirable. I think the key thing for her is that she went significantly fast in the Colts and Geldings in the equivalent race on the day, and we'll take a look at that replay and just sort of see if we can pull anything out of Dissident and Fast and Rocking. You see Dissident coming wide and was very strong late in the piece over 1,000 metres, ran 58.11, which was, well, significantly slower than 57.39.
The thing I pick up out of that replay for Dissident was just how green he was. He ran all over the place there in the run home, and he's done that before as well. And the blinkers go on tomorrow. Does that help him? His run-on pattern, for mine, is a plus here as well. A wide draw is a major negative, but as I said, green as you like, and the blinkers will really help him come on here. He's a horse, to me, he looks like 1200. Will help, but maybe even a bit further. Maybe he's a size horse more than a Blue Diamond Golden Slipper. Yeah,
we might have to wait for another day for Dissident to rise to the occasion. Peter Moody has a strong hand in the race tomorrow, saddling up 3.
Yeah, paid up for him yesterday. He and Thermal Current worked together here this morning. Both colts worked good and strong. Happy with where they're at. Dissident was galloped more truly than he probably raced with the blinkers, and we're pleased with him.
What about then the Kona Breeze, who battled hard behind Metastasio?
Yeah, well, both her and Quest for Peace worked here together this morning, and they actually ran slightly quicker time from the colts. Their work was good. Kona Breeze just continues to surprise. I thought she'd been in the paddock 6 weeks ago after a first up run, and just continued to thrive in the stable and improve. So even though a maiden, she's earned a place here behind, which I think is one of the hardest to beat at the last two. You know, she's raced well on both occasions and looks like she'll be suited to the 1200. She's been strong late. Quest for Peace, I've always suggested she's Messiah's type filly, which probably gives me a feel that she's going to be stronger than any of mine at the end of 1200. Just a matter of whether she's got the pace to be mixing it with them at this trip, I'm not sure, but she'll be strong late and looking forward to the size in a couple of weeks' time.
So, of Moody's runners, what are you selecting as the top chance of the 3?
I think Dissident, I've got him in my numbers. I think the blinkers going on is a huge help for a horse that's wandered all over the place. Step up to 1200, another plus, and a run-on pattern tomorrow. I see this as being a pressure race. Metastasio drawing wide. I don't think Boss has any choice but to surge forward, and I think it's just going to create a little bit of pressure on a tight track, and he'll be chiming in at the end. One
of the horses that will also be up on the speed you'd expect, Joe, is the Bowler, particularly going on one of the lead-up performances from it. Here is the prelude where the Bowler was beaten by Curicchio, one of the Snowden-trained gallopers. 104.16 was pretty close to the rail there, so that'll be interesting. I know for Stojakovic, she would have been hoping that, say, a horse like the Bowler, Michael, might drift off the rail, because the Bowler's a horse that potentially Miracles of Life could be following in the run. And so, you know, can open the sort of stuff at around the 400 metre point when she's going to be wanting to continue to run forward and get that the spot through. He's drawn low and the blinkers go on him as well. I think he'll be right up in the firing line. One thing to remember from that replay is that it was on pace, a touch of on-pace bias that day. Everyone wanted to be up on the speed. One of the ones from that replay that I think, he's not in my numbers, but he is at big odds, 50 to 1 or so, is Fast and Rocking from the Hayes stable. He was 4th there. Maybe one for the exotics.
Okay. Darley, a powerhouse. They have 3 representatives tomorrow in the Blue Diamond, including Guelph, a lovely filly.
Oh, and she really has caught the attention, this preparation. She was outstanding when she was fresh up at Warwick Farm. Then she came to Caulfield and was probably better. There was a question whether she would get round the tricky Caulfield circuit, but when she balanced up, look at her turn of foot.
And the thing about her with the other filly, these two fillies, Guelph and Miracles of Life, are the first two favourites. Miracles of Life, she's less than £1,000. She's up on the rails. None of the jockeys are going to be doing Lauren Stojakovic any favours to let her out of there. Guelph, she's drawn wide, but at least she gets a clear shot, and she's a much more robust filly, and she might be able to take a little bit more buffeting in the run than Miracles of Life.
Peter Snowden is the head trainer in Australia for Darley. Let's now hear his thoughts on his 3 chances tomorrow.
Yeah, really happy with them, Andrew. This morning work was their last bit of hard work, and very happy with all 3 horses, so just need a good draw and a bit of luck on Saturday.
Guelph seems to be a horse that's really just matured going into this Blue Diamond Saturday, watching the horse race.
Yeah, touch wood, everything's going well with her. Very mature filly, very laid back, got a great attitude, and you know, as I've seen in the past, those sort of things are great attributes to have, and going into a high pressure race like this, it's no, she's got a bit going for her.
She can position well wherever you want to be.
Yeah, she showed that the other day. Well, it wasn't frantic speed, but they went quick enough, and she was able to put herself there quickly. Relaxes super well, and can quicken when wanted to. So, as I say, she's got a good few things going for her.
Metastasio, you've been sort of learning, I think, along the way with this horse a bit.
Yeah, been a bit surprised actually. She's got a great attitude, very quick. It's got the ability to relax as well, which they're 2 good traits to have. Different filly to what Guelph is, but certainly can't fault her work, and she's going to be right in the race.
What do you feel? Taking a sit on the horses is your best? Do you feel the horse is a better chaser than a leader?
Metastasio?
Yeah.
Oh, look, no, she's got a good natural pace. I think you shouldn't negate that too much. It's a good thing to have. If they can settle that, that's a good thing as well. But no, I'd suggest she'll put us all forward, and just depends how fast they go, but she'll definitely be forward.
What about Montsegur? The horse has come through well. You've decided to put Kristen Reith on?
Yeah, no, she's earned a spot there. 2 runs this time in have been good. She's improving all the time. She's getting that bit fitter. Pulled up well from last start at Caulfield. She too's an on-pace runner. She'll make her own luck, and she'll be there for a long way.
All of them with very valid chances in the race. In particular, Guelph, you can really sense that Peter is a big fan of this filly. He saddled up the winner of the Diamond a couple of years ago, Sepoy, who went on to star on the international stage. Do you think any of these have that capability?
I get the feeling that Guelph is very much the one that he believes is his best chance. All fillies, interestingly enough, but the other 2 horses, Montsegur and also Metastasio, you'd expect they're going to be ridden forward right on the speed, even though they've both got tricky barriers, with the Guelph position just off the speed and looking to swoop. We saw last year's winner, Sama Reddy, in a all fillies trifecta, managed to sit wide and win. If she can cover Guelph, yeah, she will be hard to beat.
Yeah, if she gets a clear crack at them in the straight, for sure. I can't leave her out of my numbers. You know, Darley do have a strong hand. Metastasio, I'd like her a lot more had she drawn closer. It's interesting to see Darley paying up late entry fees for 2 of these, 110,000 Australian. Not sure Sheikh Mohammed would have missed it.
He can afford it. Well, like Peter, I'm a big fan of the filly Guelph. I've tipped her on top to win the Blue Diamond tomorrow. Over the filly from Adelaide, Miracles of Life. What a story that would be if she could win. And the stablemate to Guelph I've put in for 3rd, Metastasio, a real ready running 2-year-old.
Miracles of Life for mine, with the good draw, just taking a sit, either box seating or 3 back the fence. Dissident running on with the blinkers on first time, and Guelph can't knock her at all and really have trouble leaving her out. But as I said before, fast and rocking, mine, the blowout chance.
Miracles of Life is 2-1 in Australia in terms of betting, so going with the market leader. Guelph is the 2nd favourite, albeit narrowly, put her in for 2nd. And I thought that Gregor's probably represented the value in the race. She's another one that's untapped, but she was sensational at Moonee Valley. That form stacked up. She sat on the speed and everything around her faded. She fought on. David Hayes, Dwayne Dunn, if you're looking for combos and stats on combos, they don't come any better than when those 2 combined for this race. So 10 Miracles of Life for a nice story and the big prize for Lauren Stojakovic and Daniel Clarkin.
And a key point, apart from his remarkable record in the Blue Diamond, about David Hayes, is the form of the stable in general. They've really hit a high note of late.
Yeah, went through a little bit of a slow patch there for a while they moved locations of their stable, but now they've really got the numbers back and starting to. They had the most nominations out of anyone, I think, for these 2-year-old races, and it shows in their runners here.
The fillies make up the majority of runners in tomorrow's Blue Diamond Stakes, and subsequently they dominate the betting. It was a filly to the 4 last year. Sam are ready as we take this break on Racing 360.